Hey, what's up, folks? Cold K 78 beer review. Tonight we are gonna do Guinness Draft, and this isn't one that I normally do. I did drink Guinness Blonde the other night. It's a lager. Threw it out there on Facebook. I told a lot of people that, hey, maybe this might be better than Yingling. Maybe this might be my new beer. I mean, it was good, but no, it's not the new Yingling. A lot of people know that Yingling is like my top 5 beers. I won't tell you if I rank it 1. You have to find out, over time if I think it's my number 1 beer. Anyways, I'll just go right into it, man. I was talking to my bro Johnny Jiggs on the phone the other day. I've known that he's going to be going to Ireland for quite some time. Just so happens this beer is brewed in Dublin, so that's pretty cool there. First off, going to the looks of the can, all gold lined, and he sent me a text. He was joking about it. He's like, it's a sexy looking can. I was like, man, you're not even a beer drinker, but you speak the lingo. I like that. You sound like the beer community. You like to rate the artwork of the beer and everything like that, so that was pretty cool. He and his wife are actually going to Ireland as a honeymoon that they never had, so that's awesome. Him and his wife Kayla, you guys have a great time, man. You're gonna love traveling. They're traveling internationally. I've done that before. I went to Mexico. It was pretty nice. To have the Caribbean, to have the nice clear water and everything like that. I'm actually blessed now to live in Sarasota, Florida. I live on the western side. I have a lot of that clear Gulf water as well. But we're gonna go right into this review. Alright, first off, a lot of foam coming out of the can, which that's kind of weird. But then again, maybe I'm just not used to drinking this kind of beer. Alright, can's foaming pretty good, as you may see. Try to get a good pour on here. Try to get you guys a good view, man. It's hard doing these with the iPhone. I told my wife, I said she's gonna have to start filming these for me. Okay. So far, man, a really, really thick pour. So, seems to be something at the bottom of the can. My friend Jay from Louisiana Beer Review, shout out to you. Maybe you can help me out on this. What is at the bottom of that can? What is that? Playing the perfect mug for this. It's like a mason jar type mug. Shout out to my friend Misty up in Tampa, who also moved down to Florida from Pittsburgh. Got me this mug. It's from a restaurant called Dick's Last Resort down here. So I'm just gonna hop right into it. Good smelling beer. Definitely hoppy. The foam is definitely browned. Looks like kind of looks like I'd compare it to maybe like one of those root beer beers. Wow, you know what? For some reason, I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm trying to think how I describe this, but it's pretty tasty. John, you were right. So this beer is pretty tasty. Boy, this beer is delicious. There's a bite, but there's not too much of a bite. Tastes like there's like a hint of brown sugar in it. There's a hint of brown sugar. The alcohol content is not, it's not strong at all. I think it's like a 4.1 or a 4.5, I've heard. The cans are 4.1. I think if you have it on the tap, it's a 4.5. I think if you have it over in Ireland, I think it's going to be stronger than that. It might be like a 5. I think 5.1 would be pushing it. 5.1's a lot of the Canadian beers. Man, it's pretty good. I'm not even going to say this one's an acquired taste. I really won't. What would I compare this to? Shout out to Pittsburgh, PA tonight. Penguins are looking awesome in that series against the Rangers. They're up 2-1. Pittsburgh's always going to be in my heart, hometown. I think the only reason I'm not there is because the weather's not warm all year round, and it doesn't have a beach for my daughter, who has definitely become a beach girl anymore. She loves it. She loves the outdoors all the time. So this is going to be one of those beers, okay? You can sit down, you can have a steak dinner, and just a really pleasant tasting beer for that. This isn't one you can sit there and drink one after another. I could say, like, maybe drink like maybe 3 of them and you're good, and then maybe you can go to something like a Shock Top, or Shock Top's Belgian White, pretty good. Probably be having like 1 or 2 of those after this. Just relaxing after a long week so far. So anyways, back to my shout outs for my lifelong hometown. Jack Dixon, I was texting with him. Steve Ranker, those 2 people along with John, they like this beer. I think one time Jack and Nick Schmidt back in Pittsburgh, I used to work with him at the Steel Building, and he said there's some of these beers you can actually drink warm. And I don't want to say warm, but you don't have to actually drink this freezing cold to enjoy it. I know there's a couple of those other, like, you know, IPA stout beers, like Sweet Baby Jesus. You can look into that one. I got that beer in Pittsburgh before I left. That was pretty good. And then there was I'm trying to think of another IPA that I can maybe compare. But some IPAs you got to have cold. I mean, this you could probably have mid-warm and not even have a problem with it. Yeah, this is really enjoyable. Alright, so back to the shout outs, man. I've been in touch with this gentleman for a while on Facebook, old buddy of mine from high school. Me, him, and John did the Pro Wrestling Chronicle together. It was like a little just internet wrestling show, man, that just kind of like took off in its own way, man. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say we had hundreds of listeners or anything like that, but maybe we had like maybe 10 to 15 loyal listeners that listen to us every week. And me, John, and Nunya, shout out to you, Dawn. It's awesome to be talking to you again. It was awesome seeing excerpts from your hangout today with Johnny. That was cool. So, I mean, you can see already, I'm pretty much at the end of this beer, and it's pretty pleasant. I'd say, like, once you get about this far, you start getting that bitterness in your mouth and everything from the beer, and I can honestly report that, I mean, the bitterness isn't really that bad. I mean, you can tell it's definitely bitter. You can tell it's like a heavier beer. I honestly think this would be a treat on the tap. I think when I get a chance, maybe one day next week, I think I might go up to the Jagerton Tavern here in Sarasota, and I'll give them a shot out. They're a pretty nice bar. I was there in December. They had some awesome Yingling on tap. So I'm going to try this on tap, and Tell you what, I'm gonna definitely revisit this review again because this beer is not too bad. Would it be one of my normal ones? Would it be one of my ones that that I would have anymore? Like I drink maybe like every other 2 weeks or something like that. Would I consider it a lot? No, I mean because I'm more of like maybe Coors Light, Shock Top, um, Landshark Lager. That's a pretty good one to roll with. Yingling, obviously, Blue Moon. Um, this is pretty good though. I mean, it only like $2.50 a can up the street at the at the Circle K. And that's one good thing about living in Florida, man. You can get your beers in convenience stores, and if you just want to try something, I mean, that's the one thing that sucked about PA, and that's the one thing that's the one thing I'll complain about, man. You gotta buy a whole case of beer if you wanted to try something up in PA. I mean, yeah, you had Giant Eagle. That was one of the only stores that really sold beer. But I mean, I'm busy. I have a family, and it's like I don't even sometimes get to this stuff until late at night. And Giant Eagle stopped selling beer at like 9 o'clock. I mean, here you can buy it every night until like 2:30 in the morning. So I mean, it's not bad. But yeah, that's the nice thing, man. You just go up there, buy one can, one bottle, whatever, one aluminum bottle of whatever you like, and you can try it. So it's really good. Yeah, so I mean, I don't really know how to describe this beer. I'm just gonna say like it reminds me of a Sweet Baby Jesus. If anybody's ever had that, Louisiana Beer Reviews. Jay, maybe you might want to look into that beer. You could tell me if I'm right. I mean, Sweet Baby Jesus is definitely stronger. I'd compare it to that. It's kind of like a brown sugar type taste, a little bit of nutmeg hint maybe. Um, my bro John, I could see why you like this beer. It's decent. Cheers from Cool K78. We'll try to get back at you again with another review as soon as we can.